It's out there now, in the world. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and...
Guys, what's going on?
This fragile world is about to break.
It's getting louder.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance!
No, Egg! It's the window!
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously.
The window is going to come down! No, the roof!
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to us!
Below it, all the base grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists. A great pulse arises in your flesh.
That's it. I'm muting it. Shit! It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you? Yes, I've turned it off. Andre, pull the compressor. The place is gonna come...
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here.
In the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. And then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time?
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now.
Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That it was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a wave. I have no idea. I've never even heard of any.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear. They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again. Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Sulispov. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you. You just don't have the pieces. You don't know enough about the world. But that Joyce, if you knew all she knows, could put it together.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete. You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow and a great shadow materializes.
Centaur Man is made of metal. With the right gear, we...
Yeah! Connect the centaur to the lorries! You know...
Huh? Sounds like Egg saying you could use some of the spare cables, which would pretty much make the old roundabout one giant
One roundabout! One wavelength! Hardcore!
Probably the biggest antenna in all of Revachol West.
We have the amps! We have the cables! We're almost...
It's right. All we're missing now is the transceiver itself. Soon as you find one, we'll be all set. I don't know, buy one, steal...
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from my kinema. I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall. Joke all you want, detective. Whatever radio you manage to scrounge up won't lay a finger on my setup.
A cop-on-cop challenge. Not bad. Let's see what you come up with. Though I have to say, cop cars and lorries can't do it. We just got this place set up. Can't go risking Egg's most important equipment. Yeah, probably. Thing is, you'd have to be an engineer to get it out. I'd stick with regular radios if I were you. Some equipment from Arbor could work. Worth the legwork at least.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you.
You close your eyes and vacate your skull, leaving your brain to wonder. Where did that little
Total darkness. You sink down the darkest fathoms of your own Here it will begin. Who fucking cares? No, not good. Orgasme. Oh, don't worry. The music's still there. This is a pivotal moment. Try not to piss yourself. Nothing. Just the immaculate silence of your spinal fluid.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every vertebrae in your spine is an unformed skull ready to pop up and replace the old one. To rule the world. Yes, it's all true. In the spine.
From what I can see, it's about to bust a move.
Foolhardy, do you even know what's happening on the surface? Maybe 1,000 years have passed.
With your eyes still closed, the first thing you feel, all the way back in the pivoting darkness of your own torso, is warmth. You have become a triumph of rhythmoplastics. Somewhere in a smelly wooden church on the coast, you have become a flawless interlocking mechanism, a flesh and bone approximation of the throb coming from the speaker setup of the one called Eggheads, entirely, rigidly imbecilic, with free from self-awareness, no deliberation, only, and I mean only.
Oh my god! No way!
With his reel-to-reel mixer blasting the anthem of a future that will never come, the young man He throws a screwdriver and a bunch of drill chucks into the corner and explodes into darts. What he lacks in sharpness, the young man immediately bounces up and down, then assumes the same dance pattern. The young woman lifts her headphones up slightly and raises her chin, looking.
Asil? Aren't you going to dance?
No,
still at her mainframe, pressing buttons, reading printouts. But she started bumping her head along.
What's going on here? Delinquents.
This is clearly a Code 31 emergency. The lieutenant squeezes the bridge of his nose. He's obviously having trouble adjusting to this new reality.
Code 31 emergency? Really?
The lieutenant crosses his arms with a bemused look.
What's happening? Good for you. Rock on then. What? Come on, hurry.
Who's the one in charge? You are.
Are you kidding me? Hit my what on?
Sheesh, okay.
Okay, you psychopath. I see what you're doing there. It's jacked up footwork, plus is that Ubi folk dancing? Nah, it's not Ubi folk. It's hardcore.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah? I did 15 years in the juvenile crime unit. I can do age inappropriate. Now, check this shit out.
The lieutenant begins to heel kick the church floor with such intensity, it's reasonable to fear he'll kick a hole right through it, causing the floor to crack and the pillars to collapse, bringing the dynamic motion of your flailing body is bordering on the extreme. You feel as if turning on the hyperdrive will be a point of no return. Feels almost melancholy. Are you sure you have the entire...
Here we go again! Hardcore fills the air! The sound above my head!
The what now? The sound above your what?
Above my hair, man!
Okay, this is too imbecilic. Excuse me.
On the coast of the Martinez Inlet, in a small weather-beaten stave church built 380 years ago by settlers from the Occident, most likely to guard against an anomaly at its center, an officer of the RCM is contorting his body.
I am la Rebachelière. I am the city. I am a fragment of the world spirit. My heart is the wind corridor, the body. Come morning, I carry industrial dust and let it settle onto. I've seen you. I've seen you. I've seen you with her. And the modulations of my voice are noted down with thermometers and I also reside in your lungs and vestigial organs. You are an officer of the citizens' militia, Jante and Rebut. You move through my streets freely, in motor carriages and on foot. I need you. You can keep me on this earth. Be vigilant.
An officer of the RCM is lying on the floor of a small church with his eyes rolled back.
Had a good rest there?
Fuck yeah! I bet you did. Those were some advanced moves, man.
That's all great, but we should really get going. We spent enough time doing aerobic exercise for today.
You might be imagining it, but it feels like Egghead turned the volume.
Man! Now imagine if we could do that, right? But with like 1,000 people. End of human development. Mission complete. All right.
You're absolutely beat. Muscles relaxed and feet like noodles underneath.
Goodbye, officer.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see, there's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small...
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
A metal and plastic contraption bobs up and down amidst the trembling reef.
That over there must be the boy Klaas you told us about. The one she hid her passport in.
Ooh, hidden things, secrets, lies. You lift the boy out of the water without much effort. It's not tied to anything. The cord's dangling from the number 11 has been written on the yellow plastic. It hasn't been in the water for very long, but it's already discolored and slimy with silt.
Simple construction. Very unsafe.
There's something in there, splashing around. It smells like you would expect it to smell. A concentrate. The water this side of the peninsula is cleaner. A shot glass's worth of seawater pours out. Some algae. And...
Well, damn. We still got here too late. There's nothing of use here anymore. I have no idea. Or think we do. This is a small loose end, either way. Not important, I hope. That may very well be the case. We should keep an eye on her.
You could ask the miss what she thinks. Later, if you have the time. Though you doubt she'll tell you much at this point.
Hello. Isn't this a fine morning? No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived.
He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some... In the distance, you can hear the breakers roar.
I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freitor. I don't see a person take a shot here and hit something there, in the whirling in rags. It's not possible to climb that ladder, and even if it were, why? There's no
It does look extremely rickety, and wouldn't help much either.
Those? A smoking assailant who favors Tumutiri to Astra or Joanne? Cigarette butts are everywhere.
Tumutiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmaran. The Suzerainty's population was mostly Ilmaran Areopagites, up to 97%. Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a silhouette of a boy wearing a coffee hat, a tobacco picker. This boy is the Tumutiri brand logo. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Juan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, a legendary cigarette from there. 1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, a glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you would see a young woman smoking, drinking, being happy and elated. Without you. Because you're here.
To warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps. But anyone could have made this. The coast is specked with fire. Truthfully, this seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from. Visibility is awful. There's water vapor everywhere.
An old door, worn by
From here to the whirling, I can't see how. The church is in the way.
You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door with all your weight.
We don't get in there. Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't.
No. We've gotten into every door thus far. That's what we do. We open doors. We're cops. That's our perk. Even Everard knew that's a part of our MO.
Yeah, I understand you. I like opening doors as much as the next guy. But this one... Relax. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either.
At least you can think about opening it. About doors in general. They are, after all, fundamental to your life.
Our tenant, the policeman. What more do you want to know about that poor girl? Yes, let's hear.
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounge.
There's usually a little switch somewhere. Ah yes, it's the one that says release.
The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove. There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size of a common. If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm.
I don't think the people who typically buy these machines...
The transceiver appears slightly hurt by your comment.
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation. But I have to say, it still seems like... It doesn't, frankly. Don't get me wrong. This appears to be a fine transceiver for a general audience. But it's not something a serious radiohead would use. I suppose it will.
With its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing.
Hey, was there something... Another thing. Great. I love those. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different...
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address.
Everyone knows of it. Obviously it hasn't. Look at the pre-revolutionary tile work. This is an old, proud building. So for 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and... Yeah, it's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way. Even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area. I don't place much stock in the curse and so on, but the label frightens the clientele. Who wants to stay at a doomed hostel? Everything's doomed enough. Some real estate management company, they never come around here, just collect money from afar. Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Hail, Holy Queen, by the Ateniers. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling it.
Good pick.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment... Yes?
The Coppernado is back. What do you want? Yeah? What?
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous. I am. So are you. What brings you here?
Could he be a member of the Homosexual. Yes, this man is definitely one of the homos. This sexual thing seems interesting. Just pointing it out. We're not talking about some kind of cult with members here. You made it up.
The homosexual underground? Why, yes, I am, officer. Why? Do you want to investigate? Oh, it's a pleasure group. A Sub Rosa pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of... Oh, we're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning, the last things people in Rebishol have to hold on to, the truth. Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities just spinning around, surreal and unreal. You won't even know who you are anymore. But do you also like the razzle-dazzle of gold? Do you like parties and discos and have... Because instead of the traditional family unit, we're going to have all this razzmatazz. And mysteries, of course, too. Mysteries of sexual nature, very esoteric. And disco, you can't just get into it. You have to be born into it. One is either already in the homosexual movement or forever excluded from it. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Who knows, maybe you were homosexual in the past. Maybe all of that has been repressed. I have to say that you do look like someone who might be part of the underground. You have that very distinctive, I can't understand what's going on here look. Do think about it, officer. Absolutely wonderful.
A man like you can figure out his sexuality in a working day. It won't be 20 hours unless you want to enter the heightened realms of the phantasme erotique afterwards.
Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Well, here's to you. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building. Nothing. That I didn't see anything. Why shouldn't he? What friend? No, I don't think it came up. Muscular, handsome, strong, like one of those military types. Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece. Just reporting back whatever I was telling him. Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those... He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese. Sure. Anything else on your mind? You did? And how did you like him? Ah, shoot. Why not? A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the... Or is it just money? I don't know. Friends, I told you. Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time. That he won't be there when times get tough, I guess. It is. On Sundays. He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean. What about me, gendarme? Bye-bye, gendarme.
Again? I can't believe this shit. Okay. Neither can I. Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over again. We're not wasting time. Well, where have you looked for her? West of here? Tough luck. The place is ruined from the bombardment. A lot of places to hide there. I don't know. Why are you? Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Officer, it's a fine day for questions. Oh,
Did you take the documents?
no, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me.
She doesn't seem to be lying. She's genuinely spooked by their disappearance.
They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away. I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time. Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
The wet wind, heavy with brine and industrial pollution from the stacks nearby.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for... I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility. For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad... for destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on. Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me, then? What I meant...
The lieutenant looks away, over the railing.
The what? Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. I mean, there's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her. I don't know what to say. None of this is fortuitous for me.
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Your test. Get lost! Yeah? Yeah, whatever. The fuck do you... Good call. Kuno doesn't...
I'll die before I squeal.
pipe vanishes inside the concrete slit. The structure goes deep under the earth. Maybe it's just a storm drain for the sewer.
No idea. Could be connected to one of the buildings around here. We might find her down somewhere. There's an old storm drain system beneath Martinez that's mostly collapsed. Revachol sewage. In conclusion, she could be under any building. I hope not.
There's no echo and no answer. You see, above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking, and Feld Electrical. How ironic. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to...
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower maybe.
Why single out this one building? Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has stopped trying to talk to the wind. The city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here, and an adventure awaits. An adventure on the wind. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman empty in through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in...
She's down there.
Okay. Why? Good, yes. Cold spells. So basically your hangover is telling you she's down there? So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 40...
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open. A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, in addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground? And you're 180? Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is What if you were to do something more? What if you were to reconceptualize climbing? Astral projection. Be open.
Teleportation is not a thing. Oh yes, it could hurt a lot.
All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness. Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof having mastered the art of physical displacement.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your...
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring with...